What's up, A to Z Sports Live on a Tuesday? Gonna have an interesting show today because the Titans are not alone at the 0-3 table in the NFL, joined by some familiar faces. You would maybe say frenemies at the 0-3 table for the Titans as the Bengals and Jags both lose in the Monday night doubleheader last night to join the Titans at the bottom of the NFL. It's just those three at 0-3, and we're going to talk a couple different directions about the Titans and their 0-3 company, which one's been the biggest disappointment thus far, and which team is most likely to turn it around and make the playoffs. And then Titans receiver Tyler Boyd had some very strong words on paper yesterday, and we'll play that video throughout the show of Super Bowl team on paper, but they got to go out there and prove it. So we'll talk about that and where the division is at overall as the Titans fans are trending on, I don't know if giving up is the right word or not, Easton, but Titans fans are right there in limbo. They're in limbo. They're trying to figure things out.
The faith is shaky, man.
It is. It is. It's also Tuesday, which means we're going to throw some shade. I was telling Easton a little bit before we started. I am throwing predictive shade. I'm not trying to be the weatherman, but I am going to predict what we are all going to be mad about 1 week from today.
So soon. Okay.
Yes, soon. 1 week from today, we're all going to be angry at the same thing.
You mean the morning after the Titans game? I wonder what it could be.
It has nothing to do with the result or the predicted final score. There's something that we are all going to be mad about next Tuesday morning. And so just going to prepare everybody. That's going to be my shade here at the end of the show. But Easton, welcome in. Let's get this thing off and rolling.
Good morning, Austin. Good morning, people. We appreciate all of you that are in here with us live this morning. Help us out by hitting that like button, whether you're watching on Facebook or on YouTube. Hit like, hit subscribe if you're on YouTube. Hit that copy link button and text it to a buddy who you know is a Titans fan and would love to tap in with us this morning. We appreciate all you guys in the comments. See all of you guys rolling in this morning. Cody and Nick and Danny and IR and Jody, thanks for being here with us. Do us that massive favor by hitting like this morning. We appreciate you joining us.
Yep, let's get going officially. Welcome into A to Z Sports, powered as always by the BetMGM app. I'm Austin Stanley. He is Easton Freeze, our Titans reporter for A to Z Sports.com, and we are Nashville's on-demand sports.network going live weekday mornings at 8 Central Time on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Link by link, segment by segment on our Twitter X timeline. That's at A to Z Sports. And also hit us up on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads for more great Titans content. Got to thank our sponsors because they make it happen for us and they help out all of you, like Wilson County Hyundai. WilsonCountyHyundai.com is where to go to make them a part of your new car buying process. The Bone and Joint Institute, boneandjointtn.org, the region's destination for comprehensive orthopedic and sports medicine care. Farm Bureau Health Plans. Get better with Farm Bureau Health Plans and get a quote using our link today at fbhp.com/ATOZ. And TDOT, we can all be a solution to end littering across Tennessee by checking out their campaign, Nobody Trashes Tennessee, and visit them online at nobodytrashestennessee.com. So, Easton, I see a super chat come in out of the gates from King VC. He says, what's up? Just wanted to give a shout out to the water taxi.
Hey,
if you're going to the game, utilize this service. You will not be disappointed. Also, lock in and like the show. Yeah, so King VC, shout out, lock in, like the show on Facebook, like the show on YouTube as well. And King VC's right. It's going to be a lot of water in Nashville today with the rain coming down. But for the next home game, you should definitely check out the Nashville water taxi. So, Easton, last night, the Titans were joined by two teams at the 0-3 table in the NFL. That would be the Jacksonville Jaguars getting obliterated by the Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen. Zach said he would take the Josh Allen over passing yards on BetMGM during yesterday's show.
Good take.
Josh Allen hit that by halftime. Yeah, because I also took that, and I took it at 231.5, and I was a happy camper.
There you go.
But Trevor Lawrence is now 0-3, and the Cincinnati Bengals, the former team of Brian Callahan, is also 0-3 after losing to a baller performance by Jaden Daniels.
Indeed.
I mean, that was insane, Easton. So kind of take me through your watching experience of those two games last night.
Yeah, obviously the first game was Jacksonville-Buffalo, was tapped into that early just to see if the Jaguars could avoid joining the Titans at 0-3 very, very quickly, like 5 minutes in, realized the answer was no to that question. And so then kind of changed my focus over to the much better game of the evening. And you're right, man, Jaden Daniels looked very good. And, he wasn't my favorite quarterback in this draft class. He was my quarterback 3, I believe, 3 or 4. And I wasn't crazy about where he was taken personally. I was a bigger fan of who the Patriots ended up with, Drake May.
Yeah.
But something that I did say during the draft process was the biggest reason I'm not crazy about Jaden is just I don't think his build, first of all, is going to be like something that lasts in the NFL. And I'm not praying on his downfall at all. I hope that he proves me wrong. But his play style kind of Johnny Knoxville-ish, the way that he just throws himself at defenders, and he's not the biggest guy. So I do worry for his safety. That being said, I won't be surprised if he has like a rookie of the year type year, or his first 2 years, he's really dominant. And it's only week 3, but man, it's starting to look like that might be the case. And I know I saw some panicked Chicago Bears fans wondering if they took the wrong guy. It's week 3. Let's calm down on that. But so far, I mean, he had more touchdown passes last night than he had incompletions. That's really good for a rookie in his 3rd start against a Bengals defense that is quite bad, to be fair. But it's an NFL defense, and you guys, they scored what, like 37 points in the game? It's a lot of points, a lot more than the Titans have scored in a long time. So
yeah,
very impressive.
The wanting to go for it on that 4th down, where he's like telling Dan Quinn, "Don't punt." Most coaches would have punted that football because of the clock, and you had a 5-point lead. And I just thought it was a very impressive play for the Zach Ertz 9-yard catch on 4th down to basically put it out of reach for the Bengals. And then the other side of things, like the Jacksonville Jaguars are a mess, and Trevor Lawrence is a highly paid mess. Because how about this? This is from Grant Pusker right there on Twitter. The Jags gave Trevor Lawrence a $275 million contract extension, and he is now 0-8 in his last 8 starts. You'd think for that much money, you'd find a way to not lose 8 straight games. No, I mean, it is about as bad as it can possibly be. And the Jags look like they are going through it. Had no chance against the Bills. I saw you tweet it out. Like, yeah, I think Titans fans very familiar with getting their ass kicked in September in Buffalo.
People got mad at me for that, man. But if you're a Titans fan, you can't tell me you weren't thinking about that game 2 years ago when it was also September. The Titans were also in Buffalo on prime time, and they also got their ass handed to them. It felt like the exact same game. Now, the stakes may be a little bit different. I guess the Titans were expecting to be a good team that year, but I guess
they were until that was the year they were 7-3 and the wheels fell off. Right.
But the highly paid quarterback element of this, and the fact that at least to that point, the Titans had proven proof of concept. The guys you had on this team are capable of being a good football team. The Jaguars haven't done that yet. So I think there's some panic. I read a tweet before we came on the air today about Shad Khan, the owner in Jacksonville, and somebody, one of the beat writers down there, said he spoke to somebody close to the owner's situation and said he's usually a very calm, genteel gentleman, and last night was the maddest he's ever seen him. So yeah, I think some heads could roll in Jacksonville.
Yeah, MB says we need to stop attaching wins to quarterbacks. It's the most unintelligent.
You're all over it, MB.
And like I'm not like. I'm not saying Trevor Lawrence is the reason why the Jags have lost all 8 of those games.
Right.
But still, the fact that Trevor Lawrence has not won a game in his last 8 starts is a factual statement. Yeah. And the Jags did give him $275 million in full contract potential, and he hasn't been able to be a part of a win in a very long time for the Jags. So that is a problem. Like, yes, there are more reasons why. The fact that they did not stop the Bills from scoring a touchdown until their 6th drive. I think it was a
lot of drives. I don't know.
5 straight drives with a touchdown, and they settled for a field goal on their 6th drive.
We got them.
Go down 37-10.
Right.
Like, it's like there are massive issues in Jacksonville, and Trevor Lawrence is one of them because of how much money he's being paid. And I was texting with some other A to Z staff members. I guess it was yesterday or over the weekend about the amount of quarterback money that's been flown around to quarterbacks that haven't done anything. Like quarterbacks that are not playing very well or not showing, but that's the market, right? Trevor Lawrence is getting a ton of money,
or just haven't earned it yet. Like you,
yes, but the situation of the league is that you have to give the quarterback $50 million when they get to this spot. Like Dak Prescott got $60 million a year. And the Cowboys were getting walloped on Sunday evening. Jalen Hurts has not been very good at all since the Eagles got to the Super Bowl 2 seasons ago. Yep. He's been very bad in clutch moments, and he's being paid to make the clutch plays. Tua can't stay off of injured reserve. Justin Herbert can't stay healthy either. And so, but all of these guys are making a load of money. Daniel Jones, my gosh, I kind of blocked him out of my mind. But yes, like there are so many quarterbacks getting paid ridiculous money that aren't doing anything. And so that's another situation here of at least the Titans are only paying Will Levis $9 million over 4 years, not $275 million over 5. Oh, this is a silver lining. Deshaun Watson. Like you guys can keep naming highly paid. Joe Burrow.
He did earn it. He just became a disaster, to be fair. But
no, Deshaun Watson did not earn it because he got the contract from the Browns after not playing for a year and a half, and it was a fully guaranteed the concern. Contract.
But in terms of things he had done in his career to that point, he was a fantastic.
And all the allegations, it was a terrible, stupid decision for the Browns. Nobody.
I'm not saying it wasn't
Deshaun Watson that much.
I'm just saying he's different in this class. At least of all the guys you mentioned, at least he has done some really awesome football at some point in his life. But you're right. It was a dumb decision. Something that I heard a lot talked about on like national podcasts and stuff this offseason, which I think you're essentially getting at here, is that the NFL has so hollowed out the middle class of quarterback contracts. Yeah. It's either you are being paid basically high-end backup money, like $15-20 million deal, or you're in the $50 million ballpark, and that number just keeps going up. And the age of, paying Ryan Tannehill, whatever it was, $35 million a year. Let's pay Baker Mayfield a reasonable contract. Let's pay Kirk Cousins a reasonable contract. Like feels like it's so far behind us. And this recent crop of guys that you just mentioned, all of these guys that really hadn't proven it to that point, the contract they got was more a bet on them than anything else. Bet on the traits, bet on the flashes, or frankly, just the team scared to lose their guy before they can truly figure it out. That's, I think, going to result in a swing back towards, hey, when a guy hasn't really, really, really proven it, you have to be willing to say, hey, we're going to give you $35 million a year. If you want to make it a short-term deal so that you can come back to the table after you've proven it, cool, we can talk about that. But we're not afraid of letting you walk because we're not going to handicap ourselves for the next half decade by signing a bad quarterback to a salary cap decimating contract.
Yeah, it's insane. It's absolutely insane. And I saw this. Andre says that's the team fault. They don't have to do it.
Yeah,
I mean, yes, but like every NFL owner was pissed when Jimmy Haslam and the Browns gave Deshaun Watson all that money 100% guaranteed. Like, why, dude? Like, you just traded the farm for him. Why'd you have to give him $100 million guaranteed? It's just so stupid. Vol fans, look, Tennessee's having success. Once Jimmy Haslam started pulling his strings in the Browns organization and not the Tennessee athletic department. So look, there's a lot of things that are going on, and domino effect from Lucas is correct. Daniel says supply and demand. Absolutely about this. Steve Jones asked, in late, who are the familiar faces? Well, at the 0-3 football table in the NFL is the Titans, the Bengals, and the Jaguars. So let's go ahead and ask this question and get the audience here more involved today. And that question for you guys is, which 0-3 team has been the biggest disappointment thus far? The Titans, the Jags, or the Bengals? Which 0-3 team has been the biggest disappointment thus far? And I'll put up a YouTube poll. We'll get you guys more involved in the comments on Facebook and on YouTube. But first, let me tell you guys about TDOT and their Nobody Trashes Tennessee campaign. There's over 88 million pieces of litter on Tennessee's roadways. It's insane. And they spend so much money per year, averaging $23 million per year spent to clean up the roadways, yet still it's a massive problem. But we can all be a part of the solution, and that's by stopping littering, joining local cleanups. You can also pick up litter on the road when you see it, or if you're walking down the street, put it in a trash or recycling bin. It's really not that difficult to change your lifestyle to be a small part of the process. to keep Tennessee beautiful. We can all be a part of the change. A to Z Sports is going to start joining some cleanups later on this football season throughout the fall, and you can too. We'll tell you more about when we're going to be doing that, so you come join us. But make sure you find out more information by visiting NobodyTrashesTennessee.com to help TDOT be part of the solution to keep Tennessee beautiful at NobodyTrashesTennessee.com.
We're also brought to you this morning by our partners, BetMGM, the sportsbook born in Vegas. Folks, if you use our promo code A to Z Sports when you sign up, you can get up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if your first bet does not win. So you can go bold on that first one and have insurance courtesy of our friends at BetMGM. It is football season. There's nothing better than watching the Titans win, except maybe watching the Titans win and making some money on it. And that app is always in the palm of your hand. The BetMGM app is fantastic, easy to use. I highly recommend it. Enjoy the best parlay selection odds, boosted odds specials, daily promotions, all of that and so much more. Sign up today using our code A to Z Sports. And Austin, I don't know if you looked ahead. Titans opened as road favorites this week, which felt like frankly a slap in the face as a bettor. To just continue to give us that option week in and week out is astonishing, but it's there. Yeah. So if you feel so inclined, go to BetMGM.
There you go. All right. I'm going to let you get to the chat here, Easton, and that is answering the question from our audience. Which 0-3 NFL team has been the biggest disappointment thus far? Is it the Titans, Jags, or Bengals? Titans, Jags, or Bengals? I'll let you hit the comment section to see what everybody's got today.
Seeing a lot of Bengals, and Bungles. The Titans from a couple folks like Lewis, and Mario thinks it's the Titans for sure. Titans. Kyle says Bengals because they had the biggest hype. Connor says nationally it is the Bengals. MB says it's the Titans because of how it has happened so far. Stephen King refers to the Jaguars as the Kitties are the biggest disappointment. Roz says it's the Bengals, as does Guy. Titans Rossi thinks it's the Bungles as well. Brandon gives us the order: Jags, Bengals, Titans in that order. And Maven says it's the Jaguars because they just paid their quarterback. Austin, I understand the inclination to think it's the Bengals because they had the highest ceiling coming into the year. They have Joe Burrow. They feel like a team that is, I mean, they're the team competing with the Bills and the Chiefs every year when people are healthy. That's the idea. For me, I think it's the Jaguars so far, just because, first of all, the Bengals have become notorious for their slow starts. So if you told anybody that the Bengals lost more games in September than they should have, they would have believed you. Like, yeah, that sounds about right. Now, going 0-3 is kind of a dramatic way to do that. Sure. But as long as Joe Burrow is still healthy, I mean, I watched that game like you did yesterday. Joe Burrow in the offense, not the problem. I think they're ranked 4th in EPA in the league this year. The offense has been fine. It's Lou Anarumo in that defense that is a sieve. And whether they can get that figured out or not, I don't know. Lou Anarumo is a good defensive coordinator, but he's working with some questionable pieces. And when you're letting a rookie Jaden Daniels, again, throw more touchdown passes than incompletions against you and score a gajillion points, it's not a whole lot the offense can do. They're still scoring 30 points, and the defense is giving them no chance. The Jaguars.
Hold on, let me pause on the Bengals here, too, because you look at the Bengals' schedule. You're like, Patriots, home, at the Chiefs, home versus the Commanders. That's a 2-1 start. Like, if you're right, like you're talking about the 2 of the 3 worst teams in the NFL. Oh, and by the way, their week 4 opponent is the Panthers. That's a 3-1 start for the Cincinnati Bengals. Yet they're 0-3 because they played the 3 worst teams from a year ago. And they are looking death in the face because there's no reason why they should have lost the Patriots in week 1, 16-10, right? The Chiefs game, losing by 1 in Arrowhead, that was a hell of a game, a great performance. But the fact is that they completely fumbled it away and allowed Jaden Daniels to look like Patrick Mahomes last night in just his 3rd game ever. And so I think the Bengals are absolutely really in a bad spot overall. But now you can continue. I just wanted to add that in there, Cincy.
Yeah, I don't disagree that it's been disappointing for them. They have year in and year out been the team that loses games they shouldn't in September. So at this point, I'm just not surprised by it. You talk about them having what should have been a 2-1 start. I mean, the Jaguars absolutely should be at 2-1 today. They played a Dolphins team in week 1 where they led all 60 minutes of the game. They were the better team and they had the lead until the clock hit triple zeros. And then they played a Browns team, which is terrible, at home at Trevor Banks Stadium. And they lost that game too. So they should have won their first 2 games. I'm sure that Jaguars fans feel that they should have won their first 2 games. And larger than just the record, the thing that's so disappointing to me is, again, you have a Super Bowl winning coach, which, 2017 feels a long time ago now.
Mm-hmm.
You have a highly paid number 1 overall draft pick, Prince, that was promised quarterback. And you have, you lost to Calvin Ridley, and you made some moves in free agency, but you've got a first round pick wide receiver who looks quite good getting open yesterday. Got to hit the open guy, but that's a different story. You've got a team that's capable of taking the next step, right? Momentum for this team. And it feels like the Jaguars, really dating back to the Urban Meyer days, have been still stuck in the mud. They still can't quite get to that next echelon of teams that we respect. And this start this year is proof positive of that.
So your answer is the Jags?
So far, I think it's the Jaguars.
Okay.
I think Titans are an easy dead third, in my opinion.
You think the Titans are third? Okay.
In terms of disappointment, yeah.
This is really interesting because I did put up a poll on our YouTube video here. Which 0-3 NFL team has been the biggest disappointment thus far? The Bengals are running away with the number 1 answer.
I'm not surprised by that.
66% of the fans watching say the Bengals. The next is 67%. 23% is the Titans. The
Jaguars are third in the poll?
11%.
That's really surprising, man.
Well, I think a lot because, again, our audience are Titans fans.
I get
Titans fans, yeah. I believe, do not believe in Trevor Lawrence. They thought the Jags were going to be bad. I thought the Jags were going to be bad. I didn't expect them to be 0-3. But the Jags, I think the Jags are in the worst spot at 0-3, but I
just
don't
franchise-wise.
Yes. Yeah. Of these 3 teams, Jags, Bengals, Titans, the Jags are in the worst position.
Yeah.
But they're not the biggest disappointment because I thought Trevor Lawrence's contract was stupid. I think Trevor Lawrence is very average. And based off of the conversation we had, first 15 minutes of the show of quarterbacks that really haven't done enough or anything or getting way too much money, Trevor Lawrence is a prime example of that. I don't know if you've seen the clip on Twitter that's making the rounds. We can't play it because the NFL broadcast doesn't like that stuff, playing live video, but it's Trevor Lawrence seeing ghosts. He hits the B button and spun in the pocket, and then just jukes nobody. And it's like, bro, what are you doing, man? Like, is the hair in your eyes? Like what's going on with your actions? Like, he just doesn't seem like a quarterback that knows what he's doing right now. He looked better in the third quarter when they were down 34-3 and there was no pressure.
Right.
But the Bills are also celebrating. So look, courtesy, Lawrence is average, but what is Levis? I can say that Trevor Lawrence is average without having anything to do with Will Levis, in my opinion on Will Levis. I'll get to him in a moment. But I think Trevor Lawrence, there's no way they should have been able to pay Trevor Lawrence that money. He hasn't done it yet. I just don't get it. I don't get why NFL teams have to give up the franchise like that and give so much money. It's
a gamble.
And so the Jags are not in a good spot, but they're not the biggest disappointment. The Bengals are absolutely the biggest disappointment of these 3 teams. And I think secondly is the Titans. The Bengals are the biggest. Yes, because the Bengals have a schedule that was so able for them to avoid the slow start that they're used to. They had a 3-1 start handed to them by the NFL schedule makers by playing the 3 worst teams in 4 weeks. And then
are you sure we're not going to think differently about the Commanders a month from now? The Commanders might just be good, man.
Yeah, but it's the 3rd time he's played in the NFL. The Bengals should be able to not allow Jaden Daniels to throw 2 incomplete passes. It's the fact that it's that bad, and that's what got them to 0-3. They lost at home to Gerard Mayo's first ever time as a head coach.
That's the one.
Patriots, who have the worst roster in the league.
That's the one. I'm with you on that.
Don't Jaden Daniels 2 I don't even think I saw Will Levis throw less than 2 incompletions on 7-on-7 or on air in practice at times. It's
Their defense sucks. It's really bad. It's a problem. Yes, I
and their
agree.
defense has not been bad for this stretch. This era of Bengals football has had really good defense.
They lost a lot of key pieces. I mean, you
They've
lose
lost
Cheeto
guys.
Uzie, you lose your I'm blanking on his name, the safety that's in Atlanta now.
Jesse Bates a
Jesse
couple years
Bates.
ago.
Yeah.
DJ Readers are really like but they still have Trey Hendrickson, but they're not that bad if they give up 37 points and 2 incompletions to Jaden Daniels in his third time playing football.
Apparently they are.
It's still like I think they're the biggest disappointment because you look at the division for all of a sudden the Steelers are 3-0. Like there's a 3-game gap between the Steelers and the Bengals, and
right.
it's not the one we expected it. Like you would understand the Bengals at 3-0 and the Steelers are 0-3.
Absolutely.
But now flip that on its head. That's why the Bengals are the biggest disappointment.
That's why the NFL is the best, man. That's why the NFL is the best. I can understand that. That is the obvious answer. I get it. The Bengals, in terms of which team at 0-3 had the biggest aspirations and have fallen the farthest, it is the Bengals. I just think kind of like, I think we kind of agree, Austin, that just in terms of franchise-wide disappointment, like long-term vision disappointment, where the Bengals are right now, not super surprising to me. A little bit surprising, not super surprising. Where the Titans are, also not super surprising. Where the Jaguars are, more surprising to me, because this was the year they had to take a next step, and now their coaches. I mean, is there a coach on a hotter seat right now than Doug Peterson in the entire league? We all thought it was the Saints coach coming into the year, and he's got the coolest seat all of a sudden. So,
yeah,
Brian Daboll won a game.
I still think Brian Daboll is
he's up there.
Some high odds to lose his job first, but yeah, I think Doug Peterson's has a problem on his hands because last year, and this is like dating back to last year too, the Jags were the Titans 2 years ago. The Titans start 7-3, collapse, 7 straight losses. They go into the next year. At the end of the year, the head coach gets fired, right?
Right.
The Jags had a 7-4 AFC South lead, and then crumble, lose the last, I guess, 5 games of the season or 6, whatever the math is. And now they come back in here, and now they're 0-3. What happens to Doug Peterson?
Right.
So it's pretty rough.
Yeah, I'm looking at the odds. It's not updated this morning. No, it has updated. So he's actually, okay, this makes sense. He's second in odds at plus 400 to Mr. Mike McCarthy down there in Dallas, who is just perpetually on the hot seat. So I suppose I get that.
There was rumblings that Jerry Jones wanted to fire Mike McCarthy to hire Mike Vrabel this past January. Once the Titans got rid of Mike Vrabel. All right, A to Z Sports here live on this Tuesday. Let's go ahead and get to this next level because we haven't talked a lot of Titans yet, right? Because we've been talking about the 0-3 people at the table, and that is the Titans, Bengals, and the Jags. And I think the Titans are the second most disappointing of these 3 teams. The poll that we have on YouTube agrees with me on that. And I think it's obviously the way the Titans have lost the games and the opportunity that the schedule did present to the Titans to have a 2-1 start because of how well the defense played in week 1 and week 2. You got Caleb Williams in his first game. You got Aaron Rodgers early enough before he kind of found his groove. And you had a chance with Malik Willis in week 3, and you ruined that. And here you go again with, I don't know who's going to be the quarterback for the Miami Dolphins on Monday, but the Titans ruined an opportunity to get off to a good start, and they're one of the 3 teams at 0-3. Tyler Boyd had a very interesting comment yesterday when talking to you guys with the Titans media, and we're going to get to that comment here in a second, and really I'm curious to see how people are going to react and respond to it. But first, the Bone and Joint Institute is where all of you should turn to make sure that your injury that you've got doesn't linger. Maybe it's an injury that popped up now in life, and whether you're getting older and things just hurt. Maybe it's an old injury that just won't go away, or it's found its way back up to the surface and is bothering you too. The Bone and Joint Institute can take care of you for all of your orthopedic and sports medicine needs. They are the region's destination for all of that in Middle Tennessee, and it's so easy to book an appointment and to go through their process. I've had a couple injuries the last 2 years. And both times I've gotten it checked out, I've been in and out in 30 minutes or less. That's insane. That means like no wait time. Normally you're like, oh, I got to go to the doctor's office. I'm going to be sitting in that waiting room for 30 minutes. Then I'm going to go in there. Then I got to wait for the doctor. No, I'm talking about like I signed in, sat down, opened my phone. I was like, I'm going to have stuff to do. I'm going to have work to do. And then they called my name before I could even like start a project that I had planned for it. So the Bone and Joint Institute does a great job of serving you in Middle Tennessee. Also book an appointment online, boneandjointtn.org.
We're also brought to you by BetMGM, our partners, the sportsbook born in Vegas and an official partner of Tennessee Titans. Folks, if you sign up using our bonus code A to Z Sports today, you can get up to $1,500 back in bonus bets. If you don't win your first bet, whether you're cheering for the Titans at the stadium or watching the game at your favorite Music City Sports Bar, you're always going to be able to get in on the action with BetMGM because that app is right in the palm of your hand. Nothing better than Titans win. There's nothing like the thrill of winning at BetMGM. Enjoy the best parlay selection odds, boost odds specials, daily promotions, so much more. Download the BetMGM app today. Sign up using code A to Z Sports. BetMGM, an official partner of the Tennessee Titans.
All right, let's hear from Tyler Boyd, who talked to the Nashville Titans media yesterday. A couple players usually speak on Mondays before Brian Callahan does his Monday press conference, which has now felt like Groundhog Day for 3 weeks in a row for you guys, I'm sure. On those Monday press conferences. But Tyler Boyd asked by Jim Wyatt, what do you guys have to keep doing to try to get yourself out of this 0-3 hole? Here is the Titans' new wide receiver.
It's a tough time. I didn't been around it. So, I mean, me coming in, I didn't feel any type of stress or doubt that we still can't get the job done. Because if you look in the conference, you got 2 wins with Texans and Colts got a 1 win. And, I mean, it's still winnable. We're not in week 10, week 11, 12, where it's time to put this time. Like, you got to go, like all of us, no guy has played a perfect game. The offense hasn't played perfect yet. And once we start to get that feel and just have that confidence, man, I don't really know what it is yet. That's why we got to continue to watch the tape and get better every day. But we have a legit team. Like, this is a Super Bowl caliber team on paper. But at the end of the day, we got to go out there and prove that.
Oh, man. Burning Devil says, I love Boyd's attitude. And he said conference, but he meant division. So like, with the teams that he listed, but yes, conference, or division, not the conference, but, man, there's a lot of, Brent says paper champions. And then, Amber says on paper, and M-Boy says he's not the bad quarterback. Like he's not, man.
My dad texted me that clip yesterday, moments after it happened, and he said, "Is he joking?" And I said, "No, he wasn't joking, Dad. That was real."
What was the room's reaction?
Honestly, it wasn't that big a thing because you hear this. I mean, especially wide receivers, like wide receivers and DBs, you kind of have to be a little delusional. And if a team doesn't believe that they can compete, then that's all of us going to write a story. If he's like, yeah, I just don't think we got it this year. We'd be more surprised by that than him standing steadfast on we think we're a team capable of competing. So really, I think the reaction by the fan base significantly more animated than those of us in the room.
How do you feel about his comments though? Like the Super Bowl,
which part of it?
The Super Bowl roster on paper, like I think I understand what he's saying is they have a good veteran group of additions that they've brought in and paid a bunch of money to.
Yeah.
Super Bowl might be a little delusional and a little strong, but I think they have a lot of guys who have played in the Super Bowl. They have guys that have been in the playoffs quite a bit. So like I get where he's at with that, but I do think it's a little bit of a reach and a little strong at this point.
I think he looks around the room in the locker room and sees veterans and Super Bowl veterans and future Hall of Famers. And he's like, I got Calvin Ridley here and I got DeAndre Hopkins. I got L'Jarius Sneed across the room. I got Jeff Simmons across the room. I got Harold Landry across the room. Like we've got dudes. We can be a team that competes in this league. We just haven't put it together. And like you said, he's like, I don't really know what it is so far, but we got to keep grinding the tape and figuring it out. And like you said at the top of the comment, he's been there before. His Bengals, like we talked about at the beginning of the show, they did this every year for the past however many years. And so he, I guess, is probably a little frustrated that he changes teams and it's still the same slow starts.
What are your thoughts about the whole division aspect? That I thought this was interesting.
He's right.
The AFC South has 2 wins outside of playing each other.
Yeah.
Both are against the Chicago Bears.
I didn't put that together. Yeah.
And
That's
the
funny.
Titans should have beaten the Chicago Bears and did not, because we know Will Levis threw it away.
Right.
I think that like the Texans have beaten the Colts and the Bears, and the Colts have beaten the Bears. The Titans and the Jags have beaten nobody but themselves.
Mhm.
So I think that is pretty wild, isn't it?
Yeah, we went from the AFC South is the worst division in football to the AFC South has one of the most exciting young quarterback groups in the NFL, right back to the AFC South is one of the worst divisions in football. I still do think that this division is on the rise. We just got to pump the brakes a little bit on that timeline, because right now we ended the post-game show with this, Austin. If you're looking for any glimmer of hope, you're only 2 games out of the lead. There's only one team with 2 or more wins in this division right now, and you've played no division games if you're the Titans. So while it is hard for fans to believe that this is the case, I guess hard to believe that they're going to do anything about it, the Titans still absolutely control their destiny. They have 6 games against these guys where they can have a 2-game swing in each of those 6 games. Anything can happen. It's a long season.
It is. And Anthony Richardson might look worse than Will Levis.
I don't want to talk about it.
And Trevor Lawrence is seeing ghosts. Like, he looks very bad too. And
Also, don't want to talk about it.
Well, look.
Yeah, but you're right. I can't disagree with you today. I can't disagree. It's there. It's open. It's wide open.
Quarterbacks in this division are talented and young, but also not very good right now.
Right.
And so I think we all got a little too over our skis in looking at the Stroud, Richardson, Lawrence, and Levis quarterbacks. And
it was so sexy. It was so sexy.
Stroud still is good. I know they got kicked in the ass by the Vikings and Sam Darnold the other day, but I still think CJ Stroud is going to be fine.
Andre in the comments has given me crap about this all morning. Andre, you're right. I thought AR was the best quarterback. The vast majority of people thought Bryce was the best quarterback. So if you thought Stroud was the guy, congratulations. But the vast majority was more wrong than I was.
This is why college football fans need to be given more credit. When
Here
you
we go.
watch,
I don't want to do this
watch college quarterbacks suck and their teams not be good, you should believe them. Like,
nah,
for the most,
it's not that simple.
It's not that simple, but like there is something to that. I
think you shouldn't dismiss it completely out of hand. I'm with you. I think NFL like draft evaluators that completely dismiss the people that are college folks who are like, I watched this guy. Like the college element of it is sometimes just keep it simple. Trust what your eyes saw.
If they are at major programs,
right,
and they are not good and the team is not good, then you should take that as a clear warning.
Yeah, no, totally. I get it.
Like Josh Allen was at Wyoming. Like,
right, that's different.
Like, that's different. I'm not talking about
Texas Tech, right?
Yes, like that's like Jay Cutler at Vanderbilt. Like, he's making Vanderbilt like relevant and televised on more than Jefferson Pilot Sports. If you don't know what Jefferson Pilot Sports is, go back to 2000 to 2008. But when you're looking at Will Levis at Kentucky and really Anthony Richardson at Florida,
right?
That is where there is hey, this guy's at Florida. He's not that good. He looks like Cam Newton or Megatron, and he's got a crazy arm. All of these things are there, but he can't get it done. He can't get it done.
I mean, listen, you seem to be kind of writing the book on these guys, which let's pump the bright. I don't think college fans can take a total victory, especially with Anthony Richardson, who's still super duper young. He's played like 7 NFL games in his career.
And he was but how many college games did he play in his career? And he was the 4th overall pick.
I get it. Nobody was saying you draft this guy based on what he did in college. So that's a straw man argument. If that's the point that you're making, that was never the point. The point was the traits. It was always the traits.
I know, but and
if your argument is never draft the traits, we can have that argument. But I think that's kind of silly.
You have to marry the traits and the production. Just like if you draft a running back that did not have rushing yards in college, they will not have rushing yards in the NFL.
I understand that.
You have to be able to draft production too.
You don't.
At the quarterback position, you need production.
You don't. You're talking about at big programs, because again, there are quarterbacks at lesser programs that are kind of up and down production wise.
But you need product. I think I don't care what program you play at.
Okay. If that's your stance, we can have that argument in the spring. Let's talk about that in the spring.
For sure. So like again, I think they're all right. Let's get to our second question.
Bryce Young had a ton of production. He's not.
No, I'm not saying just because you have production means you're going to be great. I'm saying if you have zero production, then beware. Like Mitch Trubisky, there's situations out there of small sample size with inconsistent production. Beware. I'm not saying you buy everybody who had production.
Okay.
It's like, Stetson Bennett had a ton of production too.
I think this is a great conversation that we should bookmark, and let's revisit this.
I agree. All right, so let's go ahead and get to this because we're kind of talking about the 0-3 teams, because Tyler Boyd just said that the division is still out for grabs to be able to win, and that he thinks the Titans have he said, his words, a Super Bowl roster on paper, but haven't put it together yet. So let's ask everybody this: which 0-3 team is most likely to make the playoffs between the Titans, Jags, and the Bengals? Which 0-3 team is most likely to make the playoffs between the Titans, Jags, and Bengals? But Farm Bureau Health Plans can help you save money on that health coverage by going to fbhp.com/ATOZ. They've been doing it for 78 plus years across Tennessee, and they can take care of you. 20% is what Zach Bingham saved on his health coverage 3 years ago when he made the switch to Farm Bureau Health Plans, and he actually got better coverage for it.
That's a lot of money.
He stopped paying out of pocket to go to the dentist. He stopped paying out of pocket for his contacts. That's even more money. That's on top of the 20% that he saved each month on the rate, and he got better coverage for it. They can do the same thing for you. My parents, in their next stage of life, were able to join the Farm Bureau Health Plans family this past spring, and they saved a bunch of money because Farm Bureau Health Plans did not put them into a cookie cutter situation. They looked at their situation individually and said, here's the best way to go for you. And that's what they do for everybody across the entire state. And book an appointment or get a quote with our link, fbhp.com/ATOZ.
We're also brought to you by BetMGM, the sports book born in Vegas. Use our bonus code today, A to Z Sports, and you'll get up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if your first bet doesn't win. Nothing better than watching the Titans win, except perhaps maybe making some money on the Titans wins this year. The wins are coming. Trust the process, guys. They will not go 0-17. You will have a Titans win this year. I guarantee it. Enjoy the best parlay selection odds, boosted odds specials, daily promotions, so much more. Download their app today, the BetMGM app. Use our code A to Z Sports and sign up. Enjoying football like never before. BetMGM, an official partner of the Tennessee Titans.
All right, which 0-3 team is most likely to make the playoffs between the Titans, Jags, and Bengals? East into the comment section you go. Make sure you hit the like button too. Watch it on Facebook and on YouTube. What's everybody saying about this one?
The people are saying none, according to
That's
Jaquan.
not the question.
Not an answer to the question, but appreciate your input. Steve and Brent both say the Bengals, as does Jose. American also says American Toffs is not a contest. It's the Bengals. Zach sticking with his boys, saying it's the Titans, as does Deborah, as does MB because of the division. Kenneth and Cristoforo think it is the Bengals as well. What I'm not seeing anywhere on here are the Jacksonville Jaguars, which is not surprising, but I'm literally not seeing a single answer of Jacksonville. So it's down to Titans or Bengals, according to the chat. My answer is, I'm kind of in the same headspace that I was with our first question about who's the most disappointing. I think the obvious answer here to folks is the Bengals, because again, the Bengals have the highest ceiling coming in. They have the best quarterback of the three. They have the best offense of the three. And yet, we talked about it. Look at their division. We knew coming into the year that they'd have a tougher division. That AFC North is nasty. You've got the Steelers at 3-0. You've got the Browns not really in the picture. The Ravens at 1-2. So their competition outside of the Steelers for record at the moment, not super stiff. But I still think that the bones of the division, the teams in there, the Steelers are just going to be the same Steelers they've always been, pesky and annoying and probably going to steal a game. And whether you think that they're actually good or not, they're going to be in that playoff picture unless you put them down, Cincinnati, unless you put them down, Baltimore. As for the Titans, I'm with Tyler Boyd in the sense that it feels wide open. I'm not saying that they're going to grab that mantle, but it is there. I understand that folks are going to say, well, it's not wide open because CJ Stroud and the Texans. They've clearly been the best team in the AFC South so far, for sure. But they haven't looked. I kind of was wondering if they'd take that next step from last year to this year and come out just looking dominant. They kind of look like the same team to me so far, and it's really early. But I still think that they are a gettable team, and I still think that they lean too much on CJ Stroud, and I still think that their defense is not quite playing up to the potential they have on paper. So, and then the rest of the division, we've talked about the Colts and the Jaguars. It is what it is. It is there for the taking for the Titans and the Jaguars. And because I am currently slightly higher on the Titans than I am on the Jaguars, I guess my answer maybe is the Titans, but ultimately I have very, very little faith in any of these teams making the playoffs.
Yeah, I think the easy answer is none of them will make it, right? Because they're all 0-3. I don't know. Since the NFL expanded to 14 total playoff teams, 7 per conference, if an 0-3 team has ever made the playoffs, probably not. I've heard Ramon Foster.
Since they expanded, no.
Yeah, right.
But it has happened before, like I think 4 times in history. So, yeah.
So there is a chance.
There's
now,
a
last time the Titans started 0-3, they finished 8-8, but they missed the playoffs. Ramon Foster has told the story that in 2013, his Pittsburgh Steelers started 0-4, and then they finished 8-8, but they also missed the playoffs. So it is hard to make the playoffs when you're 0-3. When I look at the opportunities, we all knew the Titans' schedule at the beginning was the tough spot, right? And we thought, okay, how can they kind of wade through and manage to fight through to get together and gel before they have their divisional games all backloaded, and how that could be a good thing. The Bengals, on the other hand, I've mentioned it several times, played the 3 worst teams in the league in the first 4 weeks, in the Patriots, Commanders, and Panthers. Andy Dalton looks pretty good. I mean, are the Bengals going to be 0-4 to Andy Dalton?
Can you imagine?
Yeah, right. That would be wild.
Andy Dalton revenge game.
And then the Bengals have the Ravens, who are trying to figure it out. Then they got the Giants. The Bengals had such an easy-looking schedule to start the season and have not done anything to take advantage of it. So what makes me confident thinking that they're going to be able to beat the Browns, the Eagles, the Ravens twice, the Steelers? They do play the Cowboys late. And so they've got some tougher games throughout the year. I actually agree with you. I think the Titans are most likely of the 3 because we knew this was the hard spot. We knew starting off the first 4 games looked really challenging, and they should have won more, but they didn't. And now they have a 3rd or 4th quarterback that they're going to be playing against in Miami and have a chance to get to 1-3. I think most people thought the Titans would probably be 1-3 in the first 4 games.
Yeah, I think so.
The fact that they had 2 wins and they lost them, I don't know if that makes you feel better or worse, but if they're 1-3 into the bye week with the Colts, who don't look very good either coming out of it, it's not over. It's like, I agree with Tyler Boyd about that part, that it is wide open. It is not over. You have a chance to do something. And I'm not saying they're going to make the playoffs. Like, you're not saying they're going to make the playoffs, but
make a push.
Yeah, they're not dead. I called them dead at halftime against the Packers. They were dead that day. But they are not dead at all, I don't think, throughout the season.
And again, I know it's not the answer that fans want, but I don't think it was super reasonable to come into this season thinking that playoffs or bust was the mentality for this team. Obviously, you want to make the playoffs, but there are certain teams like the Jaguars coming into this year. I think it was reasonable to say, if this team doesn't make the playoffs, we're going to have to really shuffle some things. There's a problem here because we can't keep banging our head into the wall. This version of this Titans team is so new. The number 1 goal this year was to figure out if Will Levis is the guy or not. They're going to play. We'll talk about this another day, but they're going to play him enough this year to find that out. Mason Rudolph is not entering the picture anytime soon. And, I think it's more about how you finish than how you begin. If this team ends up, like Ramon Foster's story, ends up 8-8 just out of the playoffs, but, they win 6 of their last 8 or something, and they there's momentum there. They start to gel. You and I talked about this before the season began. They could go into next season having missed the playoffs but be that sexy momentum narrative team that's like, look out for the Titans in 2025.
Yeah.
That's the goal, I think, right now. The reasonable goal Titans fans should have is finish strong and push for the playoffs, and maybe you get lucky and you get in.
Yeah, without a doubt. I did see Chris Jump says, not dead, but better wake up pretty damn soon. I absolutely agree.
Wake up!
Lucas says, just get the first win and build off it.
Yeah.
Yeah, without a doubt. Without a doubt on all that. Now, Connor says, the organization sold a lot of hype this offseason, guys. The fans have been sold false bill of goods up to this point. Look, I agree with you. They have. That has been really tough for you guys to swallow, which is why you're so angry.
Mm-hmm.
And Curtis says, no way the Titans lose to a third string quarterback again, right?
There's always a way.
You never
But
say
I
never
lean
say
with
no
you,
way.
Curtis, because Austin, did you catch any of that Dolphins game from last week? Have you watched any of it?
I did not. I have seen a particular image, though.
Yeah, I think we've all seen that image. That was the summary of how that game went, especially from a quarterbacking standpoint. I'm tempted to go write an article on ADZsports.com this week from a Dolphins perspective, because it's like they can't roll out who they had at quarterback in that game. You can't do it. I don't know who you do, but I think the Titans still don't know who they're playing this week. And I think they may not know for the next couple of days, because I don't think the Dolphins know.
It's going to be Huntley, right?
That's the leading guess right now, but
it has to be. It can't be Tim Boyle.
It's not Tim Boyle, and it's not Skylar Thompson.
Skylar Thompson got hurt, yeah.
Right. So
it's either Tim Boyle or Tyler Huntley, and I'm guessing it's going to be Tyler Huntley.
I think you're right.
Has made a Pro Bowl.
Pro Bowler Snoop Huntley.
The 8th Pro Bowl alternate, Tyler Huntley.
That's right.
Baltimore Ravens. All right.
Yep.
We got a couple super chats to get to here real quick. Make sure you hit the like button if you haven't already on Facebook and on YouTube. Kick It the King has 3 in a row.
Oh.
They're all related.
Okay.
You could have just done one comment, but anyway. When the NFL moves to 18 games, they need to implement an NBA QB max / Supermax structure. A quarterback's second contract can be a max between 35 and 48. And again, like you could have just done all of this in one super chat. I think it'd been fine. And then he says, Supermax, however, can only be hit if a quarterback can hit certain marks for a team. Joe Burrow taking the Bengals to the Super Bowl activates that extra money. And then Dak and Trevor only winning one playoff game doesn't activate Supermax money, 49 plus, and the number rises as the cap rises. It cannot be next man up. I actually think this is a great idea. It's not going to happen, though.
You're about to say, are we just designing utopias? This is the most pie in the sky thing I've ever heard. There's a 0% chance this ever happens.
No,
the
because
NFLPA would rather die.
Yeah, it's a collectively bargained thing, and the NFLPA. The only thing the NFLPA has right now is quarterbacks getting paid ridiculous money who don't deserve it.
Right.
But I love the idea.
I get where you're coming from. Kick it to the king. I do. I get it.
I really do like it. And it makes all the logical sense in the world. Have it be scaled off of what you've accomplished, but it's not going to happen. And Andre asked, why can't it not happen? Because the NFL Players Association does not want its players to be limited with the money they can make, especially when they're not guaranteed money already.
The same reason the worst umps in the world stay employed in the MLB, because the umpires union is in control and the NFLPA is in control of these things.
And they've already taken enough losses to the owners, because that is a pro owner setup.
100%. Yes.
And
imagine getting Patrick Mahomes on a cost controlled deal forever. Are you crazy? It's insane.
Yeah, but like Joel Embiid keeps signing contract extensions, and then we go, what? Like,
right.
in the NBA, but I don't know how.
I actually, that's a good point, because in the NBA, we now roll our eyes like, who got a Supermax? That guy? It might honestly backfire if you implemented a structure like that, because then teams would be like, what's cost control? Let's just start, if they're even remotely good. Hey, Baker Mayfield, here's your Supermax, Hey, Kirk Cousins. Hey, dinosaur Kirk Cousins. Here's
but I guess like what you're trying to like limit is like Will Levis gets $35 million after his rookie contract instead of 60.
Right. I get that. I mean, Kick It to the King responds here in the comments for free this time. Ask the Giants how next man up structure works. Nobody made the Giants do that. Nobody made them do that. Yeah, that's on them. It's on them. You didn't. If they genuinely thought, well, we can't not sign Daniel Jones to a $60 million contract, then that you shouldn't be in NFL management, because that's very silly. You absolutely could have not done that.
Bork says LeBron lost out on 100 or million or more over his career because of caps.
Totally.
Yeah, but he also like.
I'm not hurting.
I think
for his
LeBron's
money.
okay. Like,
I think he's
LeBron,
done all right.
is he not the? Is he the first billionaire athlete?
If he's not at $1 billion, it's real close. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not counting Michael Jordan because Michael Jordan's businesses have been able to have him become a billionaire. But like, I think I don't know how much.
Yeah, in
LeBron,
2022, he was worth 1.2 billion.
Okay. Well,
became the first NBA's first active player to become a billionaire.
Okay, good. Kevin brings up Tiger Woods. I don't know. He might have lost a lot.
I know who doesn't have $1 billion. Phil Mickelson. Gambling Phil.
He keeps gambling it all the way. Yeah. All right. It is now time to. Oh, look, MB. Easton, have you never heard of the franchise tag? That's what they should have done to Jones.
Yes, that's a great point. MB, strong comments from you this morning. This Supermax contract structure, this was the compromise when they introduced the franchise tag all those years ago. The franchise and transition tag. That's what that's supposed to be.
But also, like,
teams are afraid to use it because players get pissy about it.
Yeah, and because they have to put all the cap space on that year. Like it's not as benefit. A franchise tag is to buy time. Is all it is. It's just.
But with a guy like Trevor Lawrence, that's what you want, right? You want to buy time.
Yes, but it's also like the quarterback franchise tag is, I don't know what, $40 million because it's taking an average of the top 10 salaries. And so those average top 10 salaries are probably $45 million. So now you have a $45 million cap hit on Trevor Lawrence to buy yourself time. Nobody wants to do that because now that actually hamstrings you more.
I get that. But honestly, at that point, it's like get cooking or get out the kitchen, right? Yeah, either put the money down because you trust the guy, have the balls to move on, or if you really just want to fence sit, then you better pay up.
It's a weird spot right now. It's definitely a weird spot right now. All right, A to D Sports here live on this Tuesday. Throwing shade time. If you have shade to throw, please hit us with it in the chat. We'll read your comments on throwing shade. My shade is going to be predictive. We're all going to be mad at the same thing 1 week from today.
I'm pretty sure I know what it is now that I've thought about it.
Here we go. So Wilson County Hyundai, WilsonCountyHyundai.com is where to go. Make them a part of your new car buying process. Say hey to Payne Bill and Force in Lebanon. Save money on that new ride with WilsonCountyHyundai.com. So shade. Throw your shade in the chat. If you've got shade, hit us with it. Mike Conley says the Titans are so bad. Austin's talking basketball. You maybe just jumped in there towards the middle of it. But I was not talking basketball. Kick It the King Productions started it. He also says franchise tags need to be eliminated. Dak and Cousins did great jobs putting their contracts clauses for them to not be tagged.
Why should it be eliminated?
You just don't have to use it. Like you can have it. You can just leave it there as an option.
If you want the franchise tag gone, how can you then want a Supermax contract structure to exist?
Yeah.
They're both imposing on the player.
Daniel says, Austin, have the guts to play the Trevor Singh ghost clips weak on A to Z. No, not weak on A to Z, smart on A to Z. Because if I play an NFL broadcast clip, we get a copyright claim on our video, Daniel.
Have the guts to throw away our money this morning,
Have the guts to get a copyright claim from the NFL. Yeah, okay, that's smart. Have the $100 million business have a copyright claim on us, Daniel. God, dude.
Great idea.
Look, if you guys don't know how things work, that's fine. You shouldn't know how things work. But if we play NFL stuff on here, we get in trouble. Like the NFL has a bunch of snipers sitting on top of every roof in the country, and they're going to snipe people like us. Like that's what that works. So,
that's right.
No, I'm not going to have the guts.
Sitting right next to a window. It's far too dangerous.
Oh my gosh. Bork says shade on being sick. Yeah, that sucks too. Shade. Let's see. Hello Lady says shade on gas going down a month right before the election. LOL. Look, there's a lot of, I saw somebody saying shade at the political ads and commercials. Absolutely.
Well, I think we all agree on that.
It's
there's nothing worse than enjoying a football game, just imbibing in the revelry of sports. And then it's Kamala Harris or Donald Trump on your TV. And it's like, God, I forgot the real world is doing this right now.
Yep. So my shade that I've teased that we're all gonna be mad at tomorrow morning is get ready, prepare yourselves for in the middle of the Titans-Dolphins game to be having the majority of your screen taken up by the other game that you are
Yep,
choosing
yep.
to not watch.
Good shade.
And this drives me absolutely insane. If I wanted to watch the Bengals Commanders game last night, I would have changed my channel to ABC. But I bet on the Josh Allen over passing yards, so I wanted to watch the Jags-Bills game, and I was finding comedic relief in the Jacksonville Jaguars. So that's the game I chose to watch. I did not choose to watch Bengals Commanders until I chose to watch Bengals Commanders. Stop making me watch a game that I'm not choosing to watch. Like that's I understand that there's two games and it's on the same network and all that.
Did you guys know there's another game going on right now?
Do what they do in March Madness and just give us the little damn scoreboard up in the top left corner of here's what's happening on True TV, which True TV is number this on your cable box. And like, let us know it's happening, but stop making us watch both games if we don't want to watch both games. I'm as a consumer choosing to watch one game and not choosing to watch the other. You're making so many people mad for no reason. Like, we know there's two games going on. Let us pick which game we want to go.
So I actually love that they do it. I hate that they impose it upon us. This shouldn't be hard. This should be like Thursday Night Football, right? And I'm somebody everybody understands. I love the nerdy side of football. And Prime Vision on Thursday Night Football, love watching the Prime Vision feed. But folks that just want to watch the regular broadcast don't have to watch that because that's what the main feed is. If ESPN, as they're broadcasting this on their app and streaming and all these things, just make a third feed. Make your ESPN Red Zone feed where you get both games at once.
Yeah, what was ESPN2 doing last night?
So that was the second game, right?
No, it was ESPN and ABC. So what was ESPN2 doing? Was ESPN2 doing anything?
Showing a rerun of PTI from earlier in the afternoon?
Like take ESPN2 or ESPN News or
ESPN3.
Is ESPN Classic still
the
thing?
Quattro?
I think ESPN Classic's gone.
There's a million of them.
But take ESPN2 and say, hey, on ESPN2, you can watch both games side by side together.
Yep. Great option. Don't force it on you.
ESPN and Disney has so many different properties that they can show and use to put, hey, if you want to watch both games because you're a fantasy football junkie or you have 18 bets placed on both games, then do that. But if it's on the ABC or ESPN broadcast, keep it to one game. That's the game that person has chosen to watch.
I think the reason they do it is about the fundamental reason they have two games in the first place. I think ESPN lobbies for these 2-game weeks because they're so scared of how often they have just a clunker of a game and then you're just out of luck and they want as many eyeballs as possible. So they're just doubling their odds. Surely one of these games will be good. And then like last night where immediately one of them is a disaster, where they're like, well, then we'll just show both to keep people around on both channels. But you're right. It is annoying.
And that's my shade. So we are going to wake up tomorrow morning because you bet your back end that they are going to show. What's the other game Monday night? Because Titans and Dolphins are.
It's I think it's Vikings. Somebody
Vikings and Lions.
That's right. The significantly better game. So that,
is it Vikings? I know it's Lions.
I thought it was Vikings. I could be wrong about that.
It's definitely Lions. The Lions are one of them. But like you're just gonna force the Lions game on us. Lions Seahawks. Thank you, guys.
Oh, okay. So good game. Good game.
Still a better game you would expect than Will Levis versus whoever is the quarterback.
Snoop.
So that's my shade. So we're going to wake up tomorrow being pissed at that. So
you mean a week from today?
Yes. Thank you. A week from today. Sorry.
Yeah. I think you're right. I think we'll go to bed pissed about it, frankly. My shade also sports related, far less serious though. Austin, do you play, or in your life, have you ever played like intramurals, rec league, sports, just for fun?
Absolutely.
Okay. So, and folks know my old partner, one of my best friends, JT, also here in the Titans media space. We have for a couple of years now played a rec league softball, co-ed softball on Monday nights. Got together a group from college, just started doing it. We still do it. A lot of fun. Great time. Last night we got waxed. I mean, murdered. Shut out 15-0. Tough scene. Really tough. We were missing like 4 or 5 of our best players. It gets tough. People are busy in their lives, but still tough showing. My shade is people or groups that play in rec league sports that were or currently are serious athletes, like high school basketball team, or you were like the all-state pitcher in like these are for the rest of us. If you're good at the sport, don't play with us. Like, so yes, that's my shade. So I also play rec league basketball sometimes in the summer. And we ran into this past summer, literally the entire Franklin High School basketball team, like the active basketball team, they killed us because they practice every day. They're very good at basketball. These are guys that like want to go to college to play basketball. This isn't for you guys. Like, let us have, we're not trying to sweat out here like that. Let us have some fun. Don't ruin our fun. It's for the normal people, these rec league sports.
Do you not have levels? Do they not have levels?
They do, but these good teams like to sign up for the bad levels to just they take joy in murdering people.
Is like in rec leagues playing down.
Yes, that's a great way of summarizing it. Don't play down in rec leagues. If you are really good at something, make sure you're playing at the highest level of it. Don't play a bunch of people
that's fair.
That play once a week, that just want to have some fun, want to play some beer league, co-ed softball, and then you're out there murdering us because you can throw the ball 1,000,000 miles an hour. Stop. Let us have our fun.
Okay. I think I can understand that. If you were a higher level athlete, don't play down in rec.
Because we're in our rec league softball, there are 3 divisions. We're in the most casual division, and we're playing this team against a guy that these fielders, I mean, you couldn't hit it anywhere in the infield without getting out immediately, which is not a thing that it's supposed to be the case. Yeah.
Because now it's no fun. And why are they choosing to play down?
Yeah, like we get it. You're very good at this game. You've been doing it for a long time. You practice a lot. We don't. We show up once a week. We don't stretch. We're just out here trying to have a good time, and you're ruining it for us. So please stop. Leave this for the regular people. They're just trying to have a casual time.
I was about to dominate your shade for being weak, but I do. If you are playing for the lowest, if you are signing up purposefully for the lowest level and you know you're better than that, then that's weak on you too.
It's so lame. It's so lame.
Yes.
Play at the top.
All right. Charles Barnes is saying garden snake mentality. All right, Charles. Yeah, you can go. Whatever.
Good morning, Charles.
Yeah, good morning. All right. I do think that's because you know what? It's also garden snake mentality, to use Charles's words, for the people that are playing down and not challenging themselves.
It's literally pick on a guy your own size, right? It's like the guy dunking on the middle schoolers at the Y, and you're like, and he's like, you know, just like yelling in their face, like, I'm so much better than, like, we get it. No, this is not cool. You're making yourself look bad right now.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. You turn that shade around, because you started off poor. You started off as I was gonna come after you, but I do buy into what you're saying. That's fair. So
if it's just one level and you're just getting beat, just get better. I get it.
Play to your level. Andre says college powerhouse teams do it every year. Yeah, but they pay Easton. Like,
I was about to say, where's my $1.7 million to get whacked?
If I'm getting my ass kicked in softball by former like Division I baseball players, then pay me something. At least buy my beer that night. Come on.
Right. I drove 30 minutes to this field in downtown Nashville to just get embarrassed. Where's my money?
Mr. Robbins says, let the average Joes be.
Yes, please. We're just trying to have a good time.
That is funny. All right, guys, that's it for us on a Tuesday. Hope you guys have a great rest of your Tuesdays. Buck Rising, Tuesday. Sam. live tonight for A to Z Sports Primetime at 7. And then we'll talk more Wednesday morning. Make sure you hit that like button on the show on Facebook and on YouTube. Like the show before you go. We appreciate that as always. And we'll catch you guys throughout the day. A to Z sports.com/Titans for all of our Titans articles as well. Thanks as always. See you later.